Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to review Dan, which is um, an anime and manga, but I've only watched the anime, and it's one of those things that I watched a while ago, and my son and I were like struggling to find something to watch after we watched Inception, so we needed kind of like a, what do you call that? Something to take the taste out of your mouth. So he saw Dan to Dan, and he was like, "Oh, I watched somebody do a React video to that, but I haven't seen it." And I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting. Let's watch it." So we started to watch the first episode, and within like the first maybe 15, 20 seconds, I was like, "Wait a minute, I've watched this." And I did, and it's so crazy that I forgot it because it's such a wild anime. So basically, the story is that there's these two teenagers, boy and girl. Um, the boy's name is Kensato, and the girl's name is Momo Ayase or something like that. And anyway, the girl is kind of popular, and the boy is not popular at all. And so the boy, I don't know why, he just decides one day that he's going to go and talk to this girl about his interests, which are UFOs. And so they get into this conversation, and he's like, ghosts don't exist. And she's like, UFOs don't exist. And it's a bit of a heated argument, so they decide that they're both going to go to, like, she's going to go to a UFO hotspot, and he's going to go to a ghost hotspot because they don't believe that the other thing exists. So she goes to the UFO hotspot, and he's at the ghost hotspot, and uh, a ghost called Turbo Granny attacks him, and he calls her, and he's like, "Hey, I'm being attacked by this ghost," and she's like, "What?" And then she gets attacked by these aliens, and the aliens unleash her chakra, so she has like these powerful psychic abilities because her grandmother is also a powerful psychic medium lady, and uh, Ken, or Okuron, what she ends up calling him, because I guess Ken Saturo is like a famous Japanese actor, and she has a crush on him. So he gets this curse where he has eventually some of the powers of Turbo Granny, but Turbo Granny's consciousness is somewhere else. Um, yeah, so that's the basic story of the anime. And I have to say, the animation is really, really good. It's one of like the best animated things I've seen in quite some time. So I've reviewed things like Murder Drones, Monkey Wrench, Digital, Amazing Digital Playground, you know, The Owl House, Gravity Falls. So I don't know, and had a conversation with my son this morning as well about this, because I don't know if it's like, I think that it's really good, but I kind of grew up with this Western style of animation that was admittedly uh, influenced by Japanese style of animation, but this is like, so it might be that I think it's really good because I don't know a lot about anime, but yeah, the animated animation is really good. Of course, I think that there's some kind of like exaggerations. Like the characters are always at like 100 rather than being at like 10 and then gradually going up. But the way everything is animated is quite nice. And some episodes are worse than other episodes, but the there is this one arc with, because eventually it's kind of a long story and I don't want to say everything, but another character is introduced eventually, and she basically has had this like really tragic backstory. I mean, we don't know if it's her or not, probably. So she gets attacked by this monster, and this monster believes that she is her mom, and the way that that story is told is just so heartbreaking, you know? Like the animation is beautiful, the story is told in a beautiful way, and it's told in such a way where you don't like you know what happens to the mother, but you don't actually know what happens to the daughter. And the um there's this moment where this like the character that I'm talking about, uh, the new character of she has pink hair. I forgot what her name is. Asume or something. I don't remember actually. So there's this one point where she's walking down the street and she sees this lady who reminds her of her mom, and so she goes and she says like, "Mom," and then lady turns around and it's not her mom. It's like a ghost, or like the girl thinks that it's his mom, her mom, and then the dad says, "No, no, no, your mom's gone." Um, and they show the funeral, and they open the casket, and there's not like for me it doesn't seem to be the same person. It seems to be somebody else, but it could be the same person completely, you know. So I think that that's actually really really great storytelling, because you see like the actual facts don't matter so much as the kind of impression that it portrays. So yeah, it's like really, really good, really heartbreaking stories. Sometimes that one's really heartbreaking, but also some very, very funny things. And I won't say everything that happens because I think that you should watch it. I would give this actually a 10 out of 10. So it's the first 10 out of 10 I've given, I think, ever to anything. Well, I mean, apart from some Disney movies, or uh, I think this is the first 10 out of 10 I've given on my channel. So yeah, check it out. Tell me what you think. There's 2 seasons now, so I need to catch up, but check it out. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.